Okay. So welcome. My name is Steffen Kuskau. I'm a research associate and HPC consultant at the User Institute in Berlin, Germany. And for those of you who don't know the User Institute and our infrastructure, so we are operating one of the most powerful tier 2 HPC systems in Germany, only for academic use. So in principle, we are one level below LRZ, as in the talk before. And our system consists of like 1,200 nodes approximately. And recently we got some extensions like GPUs from NVIDIA and also Intel Ponte Vecchio GPUs. And however, this is a DAOS User Group meeting, and maybe some of you are familiar with us. So we have already using DAOS for a while. So we started very early, before version 0.6 actually. So we know how to build DAOS from scratch with sources and external libraries, which was kind of a pain in the past, but nowadays you have packages which makes your life much easier than in the past. And so in the early days we had like a small test system, small exploration test bed as we call it, consisting of 2 nodes, and where we did some very early experiments. And the 2 nodes consisted of Apache Pass, Optane Memory, and Omnipath network interconnects. What we did in the past was like we had some interesting applications in-house, very like dominating applications that are dominating our production system. And we were interested to look at those applications from an application perspective and how we make use of it in terms with DAOS. And that's what we did in the past, and we presented that at the XPAC 2019, for example, and also at the DAOS User Group in that year. And we did successful experiments with the HDF5 and MPI support that was already there in DAOS, and that worked quite well. However, the interplay with HDF5 was kind of a roulette, because you have to always adjust the certain versions of the libraries to get everything to work. But nevertheless, that was kind of successful, and as a result of that, we procured basically a DAOS extension to the LISA systems, our production system, which consists of 20 DAOS servers with approximately half of the capacity that RRZ has now. And at that time, when we procured the system, still Apache Pass was the technology generation for the DIMMs. And each of the 20 server nodes that we have is like a Cascade Lake system, and we have like 4 NVMe disks installed on those nodes. So our early experiences with that actually were presented at the DAOS User Group in 2020. So that is where we came from. And right now we are still interested in using DAOS. We had like a project proposal for pre-exascale ready application, where we were interested in make use of the key value store feature of DAOS. You know, there is this key value store API or this object API, and we are interested to port as I said, an exascale ready application to that. Although our proposal was rejected because the call was actually kind of oversubscribed, we are still interested in doing research on that, and we are also following another path where we are collaborating with the University of Potsdam and the German Research Center for Geosciences to make use of this key value store functionality again. And recently a bachelor thesis was finished on that, so we are still looking into that. However, there's a major technical obstacle for using DAOS on our side, but we recently made some performance scalability tests via TCP, where we also encountered some issues on our side, but also fall into the trap that Michael just mentioned with the ARP configuration. So you can, as I confirmed, you can easily shoot yourself in the foot. Nevertheless, so actually we are interested in not doing it via TCP. We are actually interested in doing it via Omnipath. However, that's our major technical hurdle at the moment. So LISA, our production system, where we installed these 20 servers, has an Omnipath fabric. So actually this LISA system is kind of a 100% Intel system when it was procured. And OPX is the, let's say, the revamp of the PSM2 lib fabric provider, which is an optimized and really more or less written from scratch with some inspiration from another fabric provider, with optimized support for OPX. So it would be really nice to use this fabric provider instead of PSM2, because with PSM2 you also have issues with using DAOS. However, at the moment there are some issues on the technical side, like if you launch DAOS with more than one engine or more than one server and you try to connect, try to use them, you basically end up with crashes. So at the moment we can't really use DAOS with the OPX provider, and this is, as I said, our major technical hurdle. However, we are working with the Cornelis network team in the past, and we are looking forward to find a solution to that. And we hope that there will be some progress. And I saw on the agenda, on the roadmap, that there are plans to have this problem resolved in the future. And we are looking forward to collaborate with both Intel and Cornelis networks to solve that issue. So nevertheless, there are some points that we learned in the past, like things improved a lot. When I prepared that talk, I looked up my slides from the last user group I attended. So actually now you have packages, you have very good documentation, although you always find some points in documentation that can be better. And now you have error messages that are actually helpful and not only return error codes. That was my feedback actually in the user group in 2020. And lots of that has been heard. So if you have some issues or things that need to be improved from your side, I think just report that, and I think it will be very well heard. So I encourage you to provide feedback. And also the tools that you can use with DAOS improved a lot. Like now you can, for example, it's a thing that has been there for a while, but after we have been diving into DAOS again, we noticed, oh, now you can name your containers and name your pools, and you don't have to work with UUIDs and stuff like that. So tools are maturing, and all the ecosystem is making your life easier, so to say. And within the past, we also noticed that there's very helpful support, and at that point of view, I'd like to thank to Michael Hennecke for the work that we did just recently. And thank you all for your attendance, and if you have questions, then let me know. Yes. In the very beginning, like I think it was 2019, 2020, we have been in contact with the HTF5 guys working on the Vol plugin support, yes.
Because connector is still supported, you definitely can contact and get help, and they will help with the performance, because they have quite an experience now.
Yeah, thanks. So to be honest, we hadn't looked into that because, you know, the technical issues and all this stuff, but still we are interested, yeah, and thanks for pointing that out. Okay. So if there's no other question, then I'd like to hand over to the next one.
Yeah, maybe one comment on